Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Ben's Blades. I am just on a roll lately with knives that are on the chopping block. I just did a video on the Hinderer XM18 non-flipper buoy, that's getting sold. And then I did a video on the Vehement Knives Mongrel, that's probably getting sold. And this knife right here, this is 100% getting sold. This is the Strider Knives PT in CPM 154. This is a surprisingly small knife. When I picked this up used, and I did not have an understanding just how small it was. Normally I don't do size comparisons because I think that's kind of stupid and pointless, but we're going to do one here right now. Here it is next to the Benchmade Mini Bug Out. You see what I'm talking about? It's just a little pipsqueak. This is how you cut and do tasks with a Strider PT, by the way, with a full pinky boner. I'm just joking, don't do that. Never go full pinky boner. Anyway, so let's get this out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and take this guy apart. We're going to do a full disassembly. I'm going to show you the knife inside and out, and then when this goes up for sale on Blade Binge, the video will probably get linked in there so that anybody who wants to buy it can just see, hey, full disclosure, here it is. So disassembly on this thing is about as easy as it's possible to be. It's just a T10 all over. I mean, it's very, very simple. So we're going to go ahead and take the CountyComm bit driver, and we're going to start with the pivot with the blade deployed, because in frame lock knives, it's better to take it apart and put it back together with the blade open. And we're just going to open this thing up. It's got a very long, tightly fit pivot screw, for whatever that's worth. And then let's go ahead and take the pocket clip off. Put that over there. Put the pocket clip right there next to it. And then, I love knives that are just simple like this. It's just T10 all over the place. Like, no gripes, no fuss. And we are free spinning, so we might have to deal with that later. CPM 154 on this blade. Some people might get all snotty and holier than thou and say that that's somehow a bad steel. Dude, I think once we had CTS XHP and CPM 154, I honestly think that's it. Anything higher than that is really just a marketing gimmick, and it's not remarkably useful, in my not so humble opinion. Oh, that's not even a actual screw. That's just a Torx Chicago screw. I forgot about that. I've only had this knife apart once since I've owned it, so for whatever that's worth. And then we have a sort of a blade stop sleeve over another Torx head Chicago screw. This is a greasy thing. I really overdid it with this one. So we're going to go ahead and clean this up and then re-grease it. I think I used AeroShell on the whole thing last time. I'm pretty sure I did. Let's go ahead and get shop rag and slip 2000 725. You know, Strider Knives has a lot of controversy behind it. And, you know, honestly, if you're going to go in the comments section and bitch about that, my response is, dude, so what? Like, I really don't care. Like, I myself am 15 years active duty Air Force and counting. But really, if you're going to talk to me about, oh, stolen valor, dude, shut up. I could fucking care less. Shut up. He makes a decent knife. That's all I care about. Everything else is just kind of like, dude, whatever. You know, everybody's got controversy behind them. You know, even people like Hinderer and Chris Reeve have their fair share of controversy. At a certain point, it's just like, if you're trying to throw a rock and not hit drama, you're never going to own a knife again. So let's just dispense with that bullshit. Okay. This is a very simple knife. I mean, it could be argued that you could make it even simpler, but really this knife is down to bare bones, which is rarely how far I take a knife apart to get things cleaned up. So, and you can probably tell without me really touching anything, you know, there's some obvious wear marks on the inside from just regular use, from the washers just kind of rubbing up against the titanium. That's kind of unavoidable if you have a knife that you've been flicking around a lot. But for the most part, this knife is in picture perfect shape. We didn't do a function check on it before we started, because sometimes I just forget to do that, but the blade was ever so slightly favoring the right side of the knife. It was not quite dead center. It's not a drop shut knife because it's on phosphor bronze washers, so it's just not. And we had no up and down or side to side blade play. So, let me go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and do the LPS2 right now instead of waiting till later. We're going to go ahead and spray that on the other side of the rag. Just a touch of it. And then you take LPS2 to the blade to give it a little bit of temporary added corrosion resistance. Does it need it? Even CPM 154 doesn't need it. It's a plenty good enough steel, but I just do it on everything. I'm a creature of habit. You know, it's kind of the military thing in me. You do everything the same way no matter what. So, okay, we got to get this thing back together. And I'm not exactly, I don't remember what side the Chicago screws are on. So I'm going to kind of put it back together the way I would a Hinderer XM18. I'm going to put the Chicago screws on the lock bar side. And we're going to try doing it that way. Maybe I can't. Wasn't really paying attention to how I pulled it apart. Am I losing my mind here? How the hell do those not fit? I'm going to have to go back and look at my own video. This is weird. Or no, this is the freaking pivot. I'm a dumbass. Okay. This is like, oh, the pivot doesn't fit through the standoff hole. You idiot. So, put those back through right here. And then put this through right there. And then the pivot goes in right here. So that's that. Okay, I'm going to set this down kind of like that. And then let's go ahead and do we're just going to do AeroShell on the whole thing. Because I don't see how it's going to hurt anything. Okay, the pivot. Going to put a pretty liberal amount of AeroShell around the pivot. Whoever buys it next, off of blade bins, you know, it's easy enough for you to take it apart and lubricate it differently. And by the way, I'm going to sell this for probably only slightly more than what it would cost retail, just because I want to, make up for the blade binge fee. And so this is probably going to get sold for about $375, because brand new they're about $350. I'm not going to charge, $600, $500 for this, like a lot of people do, because I'm not a useless, worthless, maggot-sucking douchebag, and I wouldn't do that to you. And anybody who does, that's exactly what you are, and you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Set that down right there. And we're going to go ahead and AeroShell up both sides of the blade, or the washer side. Okay, the blade stops, it's not even really a blade stop sleeve, it's just kind of a different type of standoff. I don't know why they wouldn't use this on all three of them, but hey, that's kind of just whatever. It is what it is. Strider knives have always had quality control. I don't know if quality control issues is the right word, but consistency issues. Some of them don't even have a blade tip. Some of them are centered, some of them are not. Some of them have good detents, some of them have bad detents. Some of them have really good lockups, some of them don't. I think I'm doing this wrong, because this needs to be over here so that the pocket clip can sit in it. But yeah, there's some definite glaring inconsistencies in the quality of their knives. This one is a good one. The blade will go dead center, but you have to have the knife so tight that it's not a remarkably fun open and close action. And so I kind of back the pivot out just slightly and just let it be slightly off center. That way I can flick it open and flick it around, and the fidget factor is better. But if you wanted a knife that was kind of a two-hand open and close knife, well, then you could get the blade absolutely dead center. Got some sinus issues today. You'll have to excuse me for that. Okay. Just going to compare it with, well, that doesn't really do me any good. I'm just trying to remember if this goes on this side or the other side. I really wasn't paying attention when I started working on this. Let's do... Okay, well, I'm going to put it together the way I would put together a Hinderer. Yeah, I'm just not on top of it today. I can't even remember what I just did. Okay. That's the pocket clip screw, so that's going to remain consistent. Let's go ahead and put the pivot back in. Pivot screw here. Why are you being a turd? That's weird. Am I crazy? it just wasn't going in right. It still kind of isn't. It's free spinning. Oh, no, it's not. It's going in. It's just, you got to really press down on it hard, otherwise it's free spinning. There we go. That's it. Okay, now the rest of the screws go in like normal. Why am I selling this if there's nothing wrong with it? Well, it's just a matter of this knife wasn't really getting used all that much. It was a display knife. It was sitting in my on my display table, and it rarely actually got used. Plus, I've got the S&G, so I have effectively satisfied the Holy Trinity. So when it comes to a hot knife like this that goes for a lot of money, this knife is a little redundant, if I'm being real. It's just kind of unnecessary. One Strider in my collection is plenty. And I don't have that many knives. I mean, I've got less than 50 knives, which is still a lot, but compared to people like Neves Knives or Metal Complex, that is effectively no knives. Those guys have hundreds of knives. So, all right, let's do a function check. Let me see if that can be tightened down at all. Not really. And it's got, you know, decent flicking action. Here's the centering. So just about perfect, but not quite. And I could tighten it down and get it dead center, but then you wouldn't be able to do this. So it kind of is what it is. And Strider knives, they don't take very seriously the centering on their knives anyway. So that's kind of their prerogative. A lot of Strider knives are not centered. So, okay, let's take that out for a second. Make sure that's screwed in where we want it to be. There we go. Pocket clip is in place. And the knife is functioning perfectly good to go. Okay, what do I put this in? Because Strider knives don't come in boxes. They just come in a plastic bag or bubble wrap. It's pretty minimalist. What do I have here? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's put it in a slide tube. How about that? I'll just stick it in here. Oh, let's see here. Ooh, damn. Had some bad salmon. Ooh, that stinks. Anyway, so there it is. Strider PT for you. It's going to go up on Blade Binge in the condition that it's in, and I think somebody will pick it up pretty quickly. So there you have it. All right, trainee, hydrate, get the piss out. You Air Force guys will know exactly what that's about. And everybody else, well, inside joke. Okay, that's it. Questions, comments, put them in the comment section of the video. Otherwise, until next time, this is Ben from Ben's Blades telling you, carry a knife everywhere you legally can. I'll catch you later.